Hello and welcome to Marketing Edge on TV, Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute potpourri of brand news, branding focus, industry conversation, all in the mix and aimed at promoting the brand idea. My name is Dele Agadumo. Welcome to Brand News on Marketing Edge on TV. All things being equal, the total advertising expenditure by the registered advertising agencies in the country may hover between 155 billion naira and 200 billion naira in the year 2019. This disclosure was made exclusively to Marketing Edge on TV recently in a chat by the President of Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria, AAAN, Ikechi Odigbo. Making the disclosure, the AAAN President, who is the Group Managing Director, DDB Lagos, hinged the optimism on the general and marginal growth in the nation's micro and macroeconomics, as well as the increasing infrastructural renewal, which he explained is gradually posting positive for Nigeria on the Ease of Doing Business Index. The projected growth and increase in the Nigeria advertising spend in 2019 marks a radical departure from the estimated spend of 150 billion naira by registered 200 brands under the auspices of Advertisers Association of Nigeria (ADVAN) in 2018. According to the advertisers' body, the figure represents verifiable expenditure by major advertisers in the country in the outgone year. And still on AAAN, Ikechi Odigbo also lamented that a sizable proportion of advertising expenditures in the country cannot be captured because they pass through unregistered agencies, quacks, and media practitioners. Nonetheless projected that global advertising spend in Nigeria could as well gross much more if they are made to pass through registered agencies. Again, Globalcom made history on Friday with the launch of its new campaign, which unveils Anthony Oluwafemi Olasheni Joshua, the heavyweight world boxing champion, as its new global icon. The campaign, themed Driving the Future, is the new television commercial that shows the tenacity and fighting spirits that Nigerians are known for all over the world. Anthony Joshua, 29, was born by Nigerian parents in England, but he is proud of his Nigerian roots and often says that the Nigerian spirit runs through his veins. At the moment, he is a unified world heavyweight champion, holding 3 of the 4 major championships in boxing: the IBF title since 2016, the WBA title since 2017, and the WBO title since 2018. His unveiling was part of the program of the telecoms giant, in which officials revealed the array of new customer products that the company would introduce in a few weeks. Speaking on the new campaign, Group Chief Technical Officer, Globalcom, Mr. Sanjeev Roy, said that Glo is keen on driving the future, while imploring Nigerians and all its subscribers across the West African sub-region to join in driving the future with the company.
So, as I said, that we are the basic idea of today's event was to do a new communication launch. I mean, whatever the audio-visual you have seen already, they're very powerful in terms of the communication, and also to give a kind of bird's eye view about what goes behind, to make this network possible in terms of the investment, in terms of the future investment for 2019, what we are trying to do. So we tried to give you a sneak preview of that.
And while revealing the company's plans for 2019, Roy reveals that the company plans to invest massively in infrastructure enhancement, boosting network capacity in many locations across the country. He noted that Globalcom also planned to complete the Glo 2 submarine cable this year, noting that the submarine cable would connect Lagos directly to the southern parts of Nigeria. Speaking in the same vein, Senior Manager Marketing Communications Globalcom, Mr. Shola Mogaji, said that the company will be introducing some of its new products in a few weeks. Mogaji listed some of the products to include mobile money, Glo Drive, Glo Healthcare, Glo Call Connect Services, and Glo TT, an artificial intelligence assistant. the newest of its kind to happen in the Nigerian telco industry. Meanwhile, the managing director, SO&U, Mr. Udeme Ufot, said that working with the Globalcom team was a huge inspiration. Ufot pointed out that the telco giant decided to come up with such innovation to take its campaign communications to the next level.
The Globe business is a most inspiring business for one reason. There's a chairman who is a great lover and supporter of communications, who is totally dedicated to his business and is not distracted. And he expects the same thing from his agency. So they are greatly an inspiring team, and what is even more inspiring for us is that when the ideas come out, you have a client that is prepared to back up great ideas with the budget.
The course appears clearer for the final takeover of 9 Mobile by Teleology, as the company has completed 99.99% equity stake, consisting of 89.999.999 ordinary shares of ₦1 each in 9 Mobile. In a statement jointly signed by its financial advertiser, Park Capital, and investment banking and advisory and legal advisors Jackson, Eti, and Edu, the objective of the acquisition is to reposition the telecommunication company as well as optimize its value creation potentials towards serving the Nigerian public better. And according to them, some of the future plans that would distinguish Teleology among its competitors include speedy connectivity, exceptional service delivery, good customer services, among others. The Coca-Cola Company has completed the acquisition of Chi Limited. Coca-Cola announced that it has extended its minority investment in the company to full ownership. In 2016, the company acquired a 40% minority stake in Chi and expressed interest in increasing ownership within 3 years. Communications chief of Facebook, Nick Clegg, has announced that the company will tackle political misinformation in the run-up to the EU elections this May with a new war room based in Dublin. In his first speech as Facebook's top public face, Clegg said the company will be setting up an operations center focused on elections integrity based in Dublin this spring. The center will build on the company's previous experience running an elections war room in its U.S. office, where it coordinated efforts to police the platform during the U.S. midterm and Brazilian presidential elections. The Nigerian Bureau's PRC has announced Mrs. Shade Morgan as its Corporate Affairs Director and member of its Executive Committee. The former Nigerian Bottling Company Public Affairs and Communications Director will report to NBPLC's Managing Director Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Jordi Borot-Bell. In her new role, Morgan will strengthen the company's non-crisis stakeholder relations and drive a strategy-led relationship with government, regulatory organizations, host communities, the media, and non-governmental organizations to reinforce the company's philosophy on winning with Nigeria. And that's brand news on Marketing Edge on TV this week. Research shows that 70% of the cooking oil used in Nigerian homes are unbranded products, carried in several dirty containers and kegs and sold in small polythene bags and reused bottles. Studies also show that 1 in every 5 Nigerians suffers from heart-related problems. Around 10 million Nigerians are obese, all traced to consumption of unhealthy oil. The few branded vegetable oil that existed in the market were largely out of the reach of the average Nigerian family. So most Nigerians were left with little choice but to patronize the unbranded products at great risk to their health. That was the case until a few years ago when Power Oil was launched into the Nigerian market to provide Nigerians with a healthy, hygienic, money-for-value product and help lower the gory statistics of heart-related illnesses and obesity. Power Oil, which is non-fattening and cholesterol-free, is designed to suit the purchasing power of varying consumers in the market. Indeed, Power Oil is available in a 140 ml sachet and 750 ml bottle, depending on the buyer's preferences. The Power Oil brand owners attributed the reason for introducing this brand to the market as a result of the gaps observed in its market segment. Power Oil, which is now a leading brand in its segment, has benefited from several successful marketing promo and consumer engagement initiatives. The brand is also widely distributed and available in retail outlets nationwide. In order to deepen consumer engagement as well as position Power Oil as a brand that cares for the health of consumers, Power Oil has partnered with the Nigerian Heart Foundation. It also undertakes regular activities like street plays, awareness drives, etc., to inform the masses about the adverse effects of using unbranded oil. Power Oil also educates them about healthier lifestyle habits, such as regular exercise, eating healthy, etc. You're welcome to Industry Conversation on Marketing Edge on TV. We'll now go over to Edna Chukwuka as she holds a conversation with the president of AAAN, Ikechi Odigbo. We'll be back.
You're welcome back. It's still Marketing Edge on TV, and we are still on our Industry Conversation segment of the program. Here with me is Mr. Ikechi Odigbo, who is the president of the Association of Advertisers Agencies of Nigeria. So quickly to you, sir. Let's look at the IMC industry.
Yes.
What is your projection for the brand and the entire IMC industry in 2019?
Like I've said earlier, I believe that the political campaign season has been a bit of a disappointment. Not just because a large share of the pot had gone to the foreign consulting companies,
okay,
but because the level of volume of campaign activity has not been as high as expected. And that tells us that the game is being played at a different level. We haven't seen the level of investment in promotional campaigns that one would have expected, both at the presidential campaign level and the gubernatorial and other levels of the elections. So to that extent, that has been a challenge. And apart from that, we have that wait and see attitude being adopted. But having said that, I believe that the prospects will be very bright for 2019, going into the second half and the rest of the year. I'm optimistic that the vibrance we have seen in the fintech sector will continue to drive marketing activity. I also foresee a lot of investment by the brand leaders, because one thing we have learned is with the sectoral leaders, they don't define their marketing activities by what is going in the larger sector. They just zero in on their targets and they just run full steam ahead. Yeah, so that to me will continue to sustain some stability. So some of the marketing budgets which would have been eroded in the first half of the year will still be available. Now, in terms of prospects, I also see a dynamic playing out as a result of the very viral digital sector, where we have a lot of content being developed. Even though that creativity is not driven by the professional agencies, I believe it's opening a new stream of brand building activity, where we have social marketing and social influencers beginning to play a more dominant role in driving brand building and adoption. So we